The Lord be with you. There is a somewhat old story about a pastor and his kitten. If you have already heard it, pretend you haven't and laugh anyway. It's what I do for you, so now you can return the favor. And laugh hard and laugh out loud. It will make anyone who happens to be near enough to hear you wonder what in the world you're up to. Anyway, a pastor had a kitten that climbed up a tree in his backyard and then was afraid to come down. The pastor coaxed the kitty with soft words and warm milk, but the kitten would not come down. The tree was not sturdy enough for the pastor to climb. So the pastor had an ingenious idea. He decided that if he tied a rope to his car and the other end of the rope to the tree and drove a few feet, the tree would bend down far enough and he could just reach up and get the kitten. And that is exactly what he did. He tied a rope to the tree and to his bumper. He put his car in drive and very, very slowly inched his car away from the tree. He kept checking his rear view mirror. It was working. He figured he only had to go a little bit further, just inches, to bend the tree sufficiently for him to be able to reach up and grab the kitten. And that is when it happened. The rope broke. The tree sprang up with a twang, and the kitten was instantly slingshotted out of the tree, sailing through the air and out of sight. The pastor felt terrible. He walked all over the neighborhood asking people if they had seen his little kitten. No, nobody had seen a stray kitten. So he prayed, "Lord, I just commit this kitten to your keeping." And he went about his business. What else could he do? A few days later, he was at the grocery store and bumped into one of his church members. He happened to take a look inside her shopping cart and was amazed to see cat food. This woman was a notorious cat hater. Everyone knew it. He asked her, "Why are you buying cat food when you hate cats so much?" She replied, "Pastor, you aren't going to believe this." She then told him how her little girl had been begging her for a cat, but she kept refusing. Then a few days before, the child had begged again. The mom finally told her little girl, "Well, if God gives you a cat, I'll let you keep it." She continued, "Pastor, I watched my child go into the backyard, get down on her knees to pray, and really, Pastor, if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it myself. A kitten suddenly came flying out of the clear blue sky and landed right in front of her." I suppose one of the lessons here is to be careful what you pray for. You just might get it. Every time I read this story, however, I am touched by something else. Thoughts of gifts from heaven. If I were that little girl, I would never doubt the power of prayer again. A kitten falls out of thin air practically in her lap, and immediately after she gets on her knees to pray. No, from that moment on, I would be one praying soul, praying often and fervently for the rest of my life. I would live from that moment on looking for gifts from heaven. But don't you and I already receive incredible gifts from heaven, gifts even greater than kittens? God's love, God's forgiveness, the path of redemption through Jesus Christ. We didn't have to bend a tree to reach him. He came to us. I consider each and every one of you to be a gift from heaven. Spouses, family members, good friends, a faith that sees us through, our vocations, our hobbies, our talents, the beauty of the world to delight us, hearts eager to serve others, and on we could go until we have named a mountain of gifts from heaven. Put them all together and we would have a mountain range to rival that of the Himalayas. So may we all pray fervently and often, thanking God for our many gifts from heaven. May we all live our lives looking for gifts from heaven. Amen.